Fly, baby of mine.
So it seems like Disney is firing on all cylinders when it comes to live action remakes of classic animated films. And now we have Dumbo on the rise. So will it be the next big epic film to add to their great catalog? Or just a miserable turd in the wind that'll be forgettable 5 minutes past tomorrow? Let's find out. My name is Brandon Keith Avery, and this is just my opinion. Hey, what's going on, guys? Thank you so much for tuning in to my opinion/review. For Dumbo, I really do appreciate it. Now with Dumbo, I do remember seeing the original animated film many years ago, but of course I do not remember all the details. So when it comes to this film right here, of course I saw the trailers, I reacted to one or two of them, and I thought they looked great for the most part. But at the same time, I can't say that I was looking forward to this film, but I wasn't dreading it either. I just kind of went in with an open mind, open heart, and just wanted to be entertained like we all do when we go to the movies. Now, this film, Dumbo, is being directed by Mr. Tim Burton. I'm probably sure you've heard of him before. He's pretty popular in Hollywood. He did Batman '89 and also Edward Scissorhands. Those are some of my favorite films of his, but he also did Alice in Wonderland. And in my opinion, you know, Tim Burton is a very unique guy. He's very different, and there's nothing wrong with that, but he really stands out in his filmmaking when it comes to his visuals, his visual direction. And that's the first thing that I noticed in the film, and how he pulled me in, how he pulled me into this world of make-believe. But how much make-believe is it? You know, that's kind of where Dumbo goes to play, but I'll get to him later. But the next thing I noticed after I was being pulled into the film is just the characters in general. And they were good for the most part. We have a pretty popular cast: Colin Farrell, Michael Keaton, Danny DeVito, Eva Green, Alan Arkin. These are all talented actors and actresses. And for the most part, they did do a good job, especially Colin Farrell. You know, he was trying, you know, he came back from the war and he was just kind of injured, and he was just trying to pick up, you know, where things left off. And, you know, things have changed. And so it's a struggle for him, as well as everybody else, all the other surrounding characters, you know, and his son and daughter, who are played by Nico Parker and Finley Hobbins. Their name is Millie and Joe. And they did a great job as well, given the story that they had to tell on screen. I don't want to spoil it here, but, you know, there was not a lot of enthusiasm with their emotions, but at the same time, I bought it, given what, you know, they went through. But the character that stood out to me the most, no, it was not Michael Keaton. It was Danny DeVito. He had the biggest moral compass of everybody. Now, his character in the film, and possibly in his, you know, marketing, advertising, and things like that, he was an annoying character, but at the same time, you liked him. At the same time, you did have a respect for him, and that respect grew throughout the film. It's just the type of man that he was. He seemed like a sleazeball, but, you know, he really wasn't down, you know, deep in the middle. You know, he really cared about everybody around him. He wanted to make sure everybody was taken care of, was well fed, had, you know, good shelter, and just was treated with respect. And he wasn't someone that would just go after the dollar. Now, of course, he liked dollars just like everybody else, but, you know, he had a sense of integrity. And, you know, I'm not saying that this is the best character that I've ever seen in the whole wide world, but in this film right here, Dumbo, it is someone that really did stand out to me. Now, as far as my interest level goes, just with the rest of the film, to be honest, guys, it just really wasn't there. I really can't say that there's anything wrong with this film, other than there may have been times where it was boring, but, you know, it was kind of bland, even though we had a great direction by Tim Burton. You know, it was nice to look at, but at the same time, just nothing, it was just really no magic behind it. But that's until Dumbo showed up. And when Dumbo showed up, you know, it was great. Of course, he flies in the cartoon. He flies in this movie. You've seen the trailer. And that's when I started smiling ear to ear, you know, when I was watching this movie. Just like, oh, wow, that's cool. That's cute. Go, Dumbo, go. I am rooting for you. I believe in you, sir. You know, but other than that, I mean, there were times where I was just like, okay, I wonder how much time has passed. You know, I'm kind of ready to go. I'd rather be doing something else. But then again, I'm not saying that the film is bad. It's just that this is not some Lion King or Aladdin or Beauty and the Beast. Or I was going to say Cinderella, that was directed by Kenneth Branagh. It was just kind of something about those films that really shine bright. but there really wasn't anything like that with Dumbo given the story. I mean, you know, he's being separated from his mother, you know, it's in the circus, and, you know, animals are being abused, and, you know, things like that. And you do have characters like that in this film to give it some balance. So I don't know if it was just that daunting umbrella over me, over the tone of the film that was bringing me down, but at the same time, I just was not excited about it. But let's talk about the CGI with the elephants. For the most part, it worked great. For the most part, I really did believe that it was an elephant flying around the circus, flying around the air, doing tricks and things like that. And it was entertaining for the most part. But, you know, there were a few images here and there. So I was like, okay, that's fake. That's not real. That is CGI. There's also just kind of sprinkles of, you know, girl empowerment and how, you know, women can do anything they put their mind to. And that's fine. There's nothing wrong with that, especially with this being a period piece in 1919. But a little bit of it was just kind of on the nose, and it could have been more subtle. It could have been more smooth, but, you know, at the same time, it just wasn't the most horrible thing. It just kind of stood out to me, you know, like you just have a nice suit on with like some lint on your shoulder, and you kind of just got to dust it off. So, I mean, I guess that's what you can do right here. And another thing that I liked about the film is like how it broke the fourth wall. I mean, this is Danny DeVito playing a Mr. Max Medici, a circus performer, or the leader of the circus performer. And sometime when he's entertaining the crowd, he breaks the fourth wall as if me, the audience member, or you watching this, are actually at the circus, you know, with everybody else. And it works. It's only for a short sequence, but, you know, it's something that I did not it's something that I did not expect, and kind of just added a nice little icing and cherry on top of this movie, because my rating always was going to be positive, but I was just saying like it's barely going to make it, just because it just was not that interesting to me. But it was something about the last 5 minutes that did give it that magic, that did give it that extra heart, that extra that I feel that the film was missing. You know, like an extra sense of childlike innocence just kind of hovered over the whole film during the last 5 minutes, and, you know, got me smiling. So for the most part, the film was fine to look at. The characters, the actors, they did a great job for the most part. Dumbo was phenomenal. I loved him flying around, and it did end on a high note. But at the same time, guys, I did not love the original animated Dumbo cartoon, and I also did not love this live action reboot or remake directed by Tim Burton. But then again, I'm not going to say it's a bad thing. If I had to rate Dumbo out of a 1 out of 10, I would give it a 7 out of 10. Yes, a 7 out of 10. But guys, that is just my opinion. What did you think about Dumbo, or do you want to see it? Have you already seen it? Do you agree with me? Do you disagree? Have I turned you on? Have I turned you off? Let's get this conversation going and keep it flowing. If you like this video, go ahead and give me the thumbs up. If you don't, that's fine, but you can still subscribe to my channel. You can also look me up on social media, Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter, all that good stuff. It's right there at the bottom of your screen, and I made it very easy by providing a link to all that down in the description box below. But guys, I just want to thank you again for tuning into my opinion/review for Dumbo, directed by Tim Burton. And before you go, don't forget that my name is Brandon Keith Avery, and that's just my opinion. Peace.